favor. So move, Mr. President.
There being no objection to the motion, the Perennial Appropriations Act, the Bicameral Conference Committee report of the General Appropriations, the disagreeing provisions of the General Appropriations Act for 2023 is hereby ratified.
Mr. President, the Deputy Minority Leader, Senator...
Yes.
Deputy Minority.
The Deputy Minority Leader, Senator Risa,
Be recognized,
would like
Mr.
to
President.
is now recognized, rather.
Thank you, Mr. President.
I keep forgetting, I'm no longer the Majority Leader. So, kasi hindi nila to.
Mr. President, if I may just make of record my explanation of vote. Thank you, Mr. President. Today, the 19th Congress missed an opportunity to show its independence. We failed to demonstrate that we do hold the power of the purse. Mr. President, nagpapasalamat po ako sa mataas na kamara at sa chairperson ng ating Senate Committee on Finance. Salamat po for accepting my amendment in the Senate to realign confidential and intelligence funds in DepEd to specific programs in the department. Ngunit ako'y nalulungkot sa sinapit sa BICAM na ito ay muling ibinalik. Tila naging Mapurol at Pudpod ang proteksyong binigay sa pondo ng bayan by granting in full all the requests for confidential and intelligence funds under the Marcos Duterte administration. And worse, the legislature agreed to remove provisions that require congressional reporting of the utilization plan and disbursement of the confidential and intelligence fund. In the absence of such provisions, in spite of the Select Oversight Committee on Confidential and Intelligence Funds, how can we be expected to exercise checks and balances? At kung hindi natin makumbinse ang mga kasamahan sa House sa napagkaisahan natin sa Senado, how can we ensure transparency and accountability? Nakapanghihinayang po na sa unang budget ng administrasyon, Congress has shown its malleability to the whims of the administration and has squandered an opportunity offered by the Senate for more transparency and accountability and less opportunities for corruption. Effectively, Congress has abdicated its power of the purse to holders of civilian offices and departments in the executive, setting a precedent for improper budget requests leading up to the elections in 2028. On account of the full restoration of the confidential and intelligence funds, as well as the removal of safeguards on the proper use of the CIFs, I regret, Mr. President, dear colleagues, that I am constrained to vote no to the Bicameral Conference Committee report. Salamat po, Mr. President.
Thank you to our distinguished Deputy Minority Floor Leader.
Mr. President, the Minority Leader would like to be recognized. I
Our
move
distinguished
for his
Minority Floor
recognition.
Leader is
Thank you, Mr.
recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just to make off record my no vote to the Bicameral Conference Committee report, and the explanation can be found in the interpellation that I just that we just underwent, Mr. President. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
President, I just want to say a short word of thanks to you, to our Majority Leader, our Senate President, our Minority Leader, all the Vice Chairpersons, and all of our colleagues, and to our Senate staff. Thank you very much, Mr. President.
Thank you.
Thank you to our hardworking chair of the Finance Committee. Mr. President, Senator Grace Poe would like to be recognized.
Our
I move for her
distinguished colleague,
recognition.
Senator Grace Poe is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would just like to put on record my thanks and admiration to the chairman of the Committee on Finance for hurdling so many issues. I know in his heart what he really wanted, and he fought for the best interests of the Senate position. And well, fortunately and unfortunately, there are two bodies to consider. It's just not the Senate alone. But for the most part, I thank you for accepting our amendments that are really pro-people, especially in my concern for the drivers and also for transportation. So thank you. I think he always handled himself very evenly and calmly and diplomatically. So that's all, Mr.
Thank you so
President.
much, Mr. President, to our Vice Chair, and we thank her for ably steering the budget of the DOTR and the DICT. So we have the Libreng Sakay projects and the bike lanes under her, among other things, under her leadership, Your Honor.
And I'd like to also personally thank our chairperson, not just for the hard work that he's done, but also for increasing the budget for specialty hospitals. Maraming salamat because
That
it
is
was
your
the-
initiative, Mr. President.
Yes, thank you.
Your instructions to me were crystal clear, and Senator
you.
JV, former chairman of the Committee on Health, Senator Pia,
Yes.
the majority leader, all of you were very insistent that this must be prioritized in next year's budget, Your
Thank
Honor.
you
And
so
I hope
much for that, so much.
I hope the President, I hope you will communicate that to the President, because I know you shared, it was a shared advocacy and campaign promise of yours, Mr. President.
for the regional health centers, regional specialty centers. Thank you so much for
Mr.
that.
President, the Senate President pro tempore, Senator Lauren Legarda, would like to make a manifestation. I move that she be recognized, Mr. President.
Our distinguished Senate President pro tempore, the beautiful Tita Ganda of the Senate,
Huwag lang
Senator
siya. Pare.
Lauren Legarda is recognized.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Allow me to manifest my heartiest and sincerest congratulations first to you. This is the first budget of your leadership. And of course, to our hardworking, fair, cool, never pressured or never showed the pressure at least on him, diligent, brilliant chair of the Senate Committee, Senator Sani Angara, all the vice chairs, all the members of the Senate, including the very important two-member committee of the minority, or the two-man members of the minority. This is a collective effort of everyone, the first of the administration and the first of this leadership. The hardworking secretariat as well as the LBRMO. And what I am thankful about is that we are able to fund existing laws that previously perhaps were not funded. First, the Tertiary Education Act, I believe, is fully funded. The universal health care to the best of our ability was funded. You mentioned the specialty hospitals. And to a certain extent, although limited, the MSME laws, which will be a good support for our pandemic recovery. Environment and climate were also supported, and climate tag to a certain extent, but of course in the next year's budget it could be better. So it's a best effort budget of everyone, considering the limitations in resources and limitations in time. And I would once again want to congratulate you, Mr. President,
Thank you.
and the chair and all of us here for this collective effort of passing a budget not on time, way ahead of time, with a very energetic and consensus-building majority leader. I hope he hears this. So with that, congratulations.
Thank you very
once
much,
again. And LBRMO and the Secretariat, who stayed up till 2 a.m., and all our staff. So we thank all of them. And this is for you, the Filipino people, para sa bayan.
Thank you.
Thank you very much to our distinguished Senate President Pro Temp. And I'm not surprised na sinabi po ni Alex Gonzaga na lodi niya si Lauren, Mr. President.
Thank you. And before we recognize Senator Villar, I know he wants to make a manifestation. I'd just like to put on record, ladies and gentlemen, that we still do have the Oversight Committee on the confidential funds. I would like to really reiterate to our distinguished colleagues that are members of that committee, we will look out how they will spend these funds. I assure our minority leader and deputy minority leader, of which the minority leader is a part of, that we will scrutinize and make sure that the funds are well spent, and so that the next years, as our minority leader, Senator Pimentel, had said, this year we watch, we wait, we get them accountable for the funds, and next year we can do the budget deliberation once again, armed with that knowledge, if that was really truly well spent for the Filipino people. But I'd like to also thank our colleagues, but most especially the Secretariat, who labored very hard for 2 weeks to be able to pass this measure. And of course, our majority floor leader, for a job well done shepherding this to the floor. But Senator the better Villar, Senator Mark Villar is recognized.
Mr. Senate President, I have a question regarding for Senator Angara. I'd just like to ask, where did you get the energy to complete this budget cycle with such speed and such dedication?
I think
and I can't
could,
figure it out.
Yeah. sorry.
I want to know your
I thought you were
secret.
finished.
I want to know your
Yeah.
secret, Senator Sensani.
Ironically, Your Honor, it's sipag at tiyaga.
So I'd just like to thank everyone. It's my first year here in the Senate, and I'd just like to say to all the Senate and all the staff and everyone who works so hard, I'm so impressed with all of you. You all have my deepest respect, admiration, and I'd like to wish all of you, especially Sensani, a very Merry Christmas.
Hey,
Thank you.
thank you. Thank you, Senator Villar.